In the heart of southern Africa, huge stone walls rise from the earth. They are not straight and sharp, but curve like flowing rivers. These walls are massive, some as tall as a 3-story building and thick enough for 2 cars to drive on. They were built with a special skill, using stones carefully cut to fit together perfectly without any sticky stuff to hold them. This amazing place is called Great Zimbabwe. It is a silent city of stone, a huge puzzle left behind by people long ago. For hundreds of years, its grand walls and tall towers have guarded a deep secret about a powerful African kingdom that was almost forgotten by the rest of the world. To understand how big this city was, we need to see it from above. Great Zimbabwe was not just a few buildings. It was a huge city that stretched across nearly 2,000 acres of land. This was a busy place, a center of life and power. At its busiest time, around the year 1400, as many as 18,000 people lived here. To help you picture that, the city of London in Europe had about the same number of people at that same time. This was not a small village. This was one of the great cities of its day. But when European explorers first found these ruins in the late 1800s, they were totally shocked. They saw the giant walls and the clever building style. They saw a city that was clearly made by smart and organized people. They looked at all this proof of a great past, but they refused to believe what was right in front of them. They could not accept that a city this amazing could have been built by the African people who lived there. It just did not fit with what they wanted to believe. This refusal to see the truth created a big mystery. The explorers decided that some other people, some outsiders, must have come to Africa and built this grand city. This idea was wrong, but it started a hunt for a lost foreign kingdom. So, if not the local people, then who? The ideas became wild and imaginative. Some people said it was built by ancient travelers from the Middle East called Phoenicians. Others thought it must have been a lost city built by the Egyptians. The most popular idea was a story from the Bible. People said this must be the lost land of Ophir, the place where the wise King Solomon got his gold and treasure. They imagined a secret city of gold built by a king from a faraway land. But the real story is even more amazing, and the clues were there all along. The journey to the truth starts with the city's name. Zimbabwe is a word from the language of the local Shona people. It means great houses of stone. The name itself tells us who built it. It was not a mystery for the people who lived on the land. The true builders were the ancestors of the Shona people. They began building this great city around the year 1100, long before any European explorers arrived. So what made this incredible city so rich and powerful? The answer was something shiny and yellow: gold. The kingdom of Zimbabwe was built in a perfect spot. It sat right between huge fields full of gold and the coast of the big Indian Ocean. This smart location made them the center of everything. They became the main traders for a huge part of the ancient world. Merchants brought gold from deep inside the land to the great stone city. From there, it was sent on a long journey to the coast. Great ships then carried it to faraway lands like Arabia, India, and even China. We know this because of what was left behind for us to find. People digging carefully in the ruins found amazing things. They uncovered beautiful glass beads from Persia and decorated pottery from China. These small objects tell a big story of a powerful city connected to the whole world. Now, let's imagine walking through the city as its people once did. It was made of 3 main areas. High on a giant rock hill was the hill complex. This was the home of the king. It was also a special, holy place for their spiritual beliefs. Down below the hill was the valley. This is where most of the people lived their daily lives, perhaps as many as 18,000 citizens. And then there was the most famous part of all, the Great Enclosure. This was a huge, circular area protected by those tall, mysterious stone walls. Inside the great enclosure stands the city's biggest secret. It is called the conical tower. It is a solid tower of stone, as tall as a 3-story building, but it has no rooms, no doors, and no stairs leading to a hidden chamber. It is completely solid stone. So what was it for? No one knows for sure. Some people think it looks like a giant container for holding grain. This would be a powerful symbol of the king's ability to feed all his people. Others believe it was a sacred shape, a special symbol for their beliefs. The tower quietly keeps its secret. But the true story of this great African city was almost lost forever. In 1902, a man named Richard Hall was hired to study the ruins. He was supposed to be an archaeologist, a person who carefully studies old things. But his real job was to try and prove the city was not built by Africans. He believed that local people could not have built something so amazing. So he began to dig. But he did not dig carefully like a scientist. He dug through the layers of history like a storm, destroying the very clues he was supposed to find. He threw away anything that he thought looked like it was made by local African people. He was looking for signs of foreign builders, and in his search he erased parts of the real story. Because of him, many secrets of Great Zimbabwe were damaged or lost, making the mystery even deeper. But the truth could not stay buried forever. A new kind of explorer arrived, armed not with treasure maps, but with science. In 1905, a professional archaeologist named David Randall McIver came to the ruins. He looked carefully at the everyday things that others had thrown away, the pottery, the tools, and the beads. His conclusion was simple and powerful. These items were not from some faraway land. They were undeniably African, made by the ancestors of the people still living in the region. Later, another archaeologist, Gertrude Caton Thompson, proved it again. She dug deep beneath the stone walls and found the remains of older villages. The great city was built on top of a long history of African settlement. This is so much more than an old story about rocks. For many years, the colonial government that ruled the country, then called Rhodesia, tried to hide this truth. They changed the words in guidebooks. They controlled what museums could say. They wanted the world to believe that Great Zimbabwe was built by anyone but Africans. Why did they do this? Because the reality of a powerful, organized African kingdom challenged their whole reason for being there. The story they told was that they were bringing civilization to a land that had none. But the stone walls of Great Zimbabwe silently screamed that a great civilization was already there, long before they arrived. Imagine for a moment what that feels like. Think about being a child, growing up near this amazing place, and being told that your own ancestors could not have built it. It was a way of stealing a people's history. It was a way of taking away their pride and their connection to their own past. The fight to prove the true story of Great Zimbabwe was a fight for identity itself. When the country finally won its freedom, it was no accident that it chose a new name. It called itself Zimbabwe, after these magnificent ruins. This act reclaimed their history, turning a symbol of a hidden past into a promise for a new future. The great city was slowly left behind around the year 1450. The gold trade may have moved to new places, or maybe the land could no longer support so many people. It was not a sudden end, but a slow change, like a river finding a new path. But the people did not vanish. Their skills, their ideas, and their spirit carried on in other kingdoms that rose nearby. The legacy of the stone builders continued to echo through the land for hundreds of years. Today, Great Zimbabwe is celebrated as one of the world's great treasures. It is a special place protected for all of humanity to see. It stands as a powerful symbol of national pride, a testament to a history that was denied but never defeated. The silent stone birds still look out from the high walls. They are a quiet reminder of the ingenuity and strength of the Shona people. They tell a story of a great African kingdom that the world is finally, truly beginning to understand.